Wasted away again in Denveritaville. Welcome back to Accidentally Fasting. Here we are sitting in Denver. I'm Alex.
And I'm Katie.
And we're doing it hardcore.
Sure are.
On the podcast. Here we are, special edition. We're coming from Denver, the Mile High City, the Golden Nugget City, or something like that. I don't know what they call it, but the Green City now, the City of Pot.
Yes, we are here. We're laying in bed. We're in a hotel, and we're going to tell you all about it. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's happening.
So yeah, we're in the Curtis Hotel, and this is a special hotel to us because this is where we stayed on our honeymoon in 2013.
Yeah, we did a little road trip around Colorado. And I say Colorado. I don't say Colorado. It's where I was from. Come on, fight me, bro. But I say Colorado. We did a little road trip around the state when we got married. So this was our stop in Denver. And we didn't know what to expect. If you've ever been here, it's probably the most weird hotel I've ever been to. It's pretty funny.
It's cool, yeah. Each floor is a different theme, and it's pretty nuts. So
yeah, we're on the 15th floor, and then when you get off on our floor, it goes, "Welcome to the 15th floor," something like "Non-Usual" by Tom Jones.
Welcome, all my friends. You're on the 15th floor.
And it's really awkward because you're on the elevator with people from Denver, and they're all super stoned, so you're all just standing there really awkwardly staring at each other, and then each floor has some funny song that plays, and it's really awkward.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. So for this special Valentine's episode, what we were thinking about doing was sort of rehashing or whatever our honeymoon. Canting the rees. Yeah, recanting. Peaches come from a can.
Sorry, I'm just staring at these almonds that are in between my legs right now. They look good.
All the nuts. So
what's wrong with you, dude? This city takes a lot out of you. Really
it's
does.
Been a heck of a day.
It's cold AF out here.
Yeah. It was about 7 degrees 2 days ago, so that was really cool. And it's still snowy. It's a great time to be here. It's actually, I kind of like it because we didn't get so much snow in Albuquerque this year. But anyway, so I guess we could first talk about our honeymoon and then what we did tonight. So.
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, fuck that. All right. We've been married since October 12th, 2013. Our honeymoon started the 14th of October. I'm going to vote that fall is a better time to come to Colorado.
I don't think our honeymoon started the 14th of October. I think we waited like a week or some shit.
No, we went the next day.
Okay.
Yeah. But we drove up through Colorado Springs. We stayed there a night, which was really cool. But I don't think we did that much the first night because we drove 6 hours or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even really remember that city. I remember driving through Boulder. I really liked Boulder.
Yeah, Colorado Springs, we just ordered Chinese food, and there were 2 hotels next to each other, and the Chinese food lady went to the other hotel. Which is weird, like, how come now you have, like, Grubhub and stuff, but back then, like, the Chinese places always delivered. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's this really, like, strange, shitty tavern, sorry, no offense to people who like this, called Dragonhorn in Albuquerque, but they have a Chinese place that specifically delivers to them.
Sushi.
I don't know why I'm laughing so hard at that.
I've never had their Chinese food before. Or, well, I guess it's not necessarily Chinese food.
Okay, sorry. I got the case of the giggles.
Yeah.
It's these wasabi almonds here.
Yeah, it's the air in Denver, in Colorado.
Yeah, for real.
So, where was I? Oh, Colorado Springs. So, why did you bring up Dragonhorn?
Because, so 2 things. The first thing is because you said Chinese food. It just reminds me because there's that Chinese food place that delivers. The second thing is we're walking all around downtown Denver, and Alex is like, rather fucking be a Dragonhorn right now. Because this is really, it's a really shitty dive bar, you know? It's like...
So we went up through Colorado Springs. We got Chinese food delivered to our hotel room, and then we left. It was a lot of Chinese food because we left it there in the hotel in the little fridge. We drove through
We just left
Denver.
pizza.
We came up to Denver the second day, stayed here at the Curtis, which is, I think we were on the 13th or the 14th floor the first night. And it was really cool. I don't remember telling them that it was our honeymoon, but we had champagne and chocolate-covered strawberries waiting for us in the room.
Yeah,
when we
and
got
it
here.
said, like, congratulations or something. It was so cute.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I guess I was expecting the similar experience when we came to the Curtis here this time, but...
Yeah, sort of like romanticized it, which is... So, just so everybody knows who's listening to the podcast right now, we're on the 15th floor, which is the music floor. So this is some weird shit. We're in the Jimmy Buffett room, which it's totally by accident, but the reason that that's special or whatever is because my dad loves Jimmy Buffett. So I've seen Jimmy Buffett in concert like probably more times than I can count. And this was by happenstance that we just ended up here. We like walked in the room and they were like, "Oh, it's a special themed room. It's not ready yet, blah, blah, blah." We walk in here and there's like Jimmy Buffett's books, his records, his posters, his concert
I don't
flyers.
think you guys realize how weird that is, because if you know Alex's like dad or family, like they're fucking obsessed with Jimmy Buffett. It's just crazy. It really is. And even me just being a part of as an in-law, I don't even know how many times I've seen Jimmy Buffett. I hate to admit that, but it's been quite a lot. And when I walked in, I was like, damn, I've been trying to get away from this fool my whole life, and here I am right now. I'm laying on a pillow right now. What does this say? I don't know. We're laying on these like stupid ass themed
It's
pillows.
like Find Your
and-
Happy Beach or something.
Yeah, and there's
like
like
that.
flip-flops here. The clock is set to 5 o'clock. Oh,
Oh
man.
yeah, but the fucking weirdest thing is I walk in the bathroom. It's been a long trip because we had to Uber here, so it was 20 minutes or whatever, long trip.
Sleepy
But-
time.
So I walk in the bathroom to relieve myself, and on the
TMI.
wall there's a flyer that's a concert that is my dad's birthday. And I was like, what the fucking mind-blown fuck? Like, first of all, we're in the Jimmy Buffett room just by accident. And then all of a sudden there's like a flyer with his birthday on it, my dad, like, who fucking has been
Conspiracy, bro.
listening to... Yeah.
It's the Holly weird people out there.
It is. So, yeah, actually, speaking of him, I met Jimmy Buffett back in, like, oh my gosh, like 2002 or 3.
Was his trouser snake showing?
It might have been, but he was really short, like...
Was he?
Well, yeah, I think he's, like, I don't know how tall he is. I'd have to Wikipedia it,
I wonder
but
if he shaves his nutsack.
I would think he did, but now he doesn't. I think at this point he's too rich to care. I think there's, like,
There's a point in which you shave your nut. But wouldn't you say that some men just like their nutsack shaved? Nutsack shaved? Say that 5 times fast.
Maybe they're I was gonna say coconuts, but that's kind of like
Triggered.
yeah. But anyway, so then on our honeymoon back in 2013, we left the Curtis and we went to Estes Park for 2 days. Got snowed in there. That was really cool.
At the Stanley.
The Stanley Hotel, which
And I keep calling this hotel the Stanley, even though it's the Curtis. But like, why the fuck are these hotel names named after dudes? Like, what the fuck? They should be
Well-
called a Jimmy up in this bitch.
that's true, but the Stanley is the Stanley Steamer Hotel.
Would you rather stay at a hotel called the Harvey or the Hubert?
The Harvey, after Harvey Keitel. I don't know anybody named Hubert.
Steve Harvey?
Yeah, I wouldn't stay at Steve Harvey's hotel.
Anyway, we were talking about the Stanley steamer. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Wasn't there some museum or some shit
Yeah,
there?
there were 3 museums there, sort of. There was out front, there's the Stanley Steamer, the car, because he had a steam-powered car.
Steamer, tough on dirt, gentle on carpet.
It's true. They had a car that you could ride around if they were happy enough to take you. They weren't
Whoa,
happy enough to
dude.
take us, but we watched the TV video of it. Like, they had the TVs all over
yeah.
the hotel. But then, the other thing is that The Shining was inspired by that hotel. And the special thing about that is they play The Shining 24/7 on
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those channels.
Yeah.
And I kept waking up every fucking night at like 3 in the morning after we left the TV on and there was The Shining. And I'd be like, fuck, well now I'm in The Shining hotel and I'm watching The Shining. and I have to go pee, and there's gonna be an old lady falling apart in the fucking
I have to say it was beautiful. Like it was. I mean, the bar and everything. The premises are beautiful, but those rooms are just ugh. And they're just hot. Like, I think in other reviews, people have stated that the air conditioner doesn't work. Well, I mean, we went when it was cold, but I don't know. It's just kind of muggy. And then I did hear some noises, but I'm overly... I mean, I wake up to anything, you know. I can't stand noises, you know. I have to put 5 pillows on my ears because I can't take it.
Yeah, well... the other thing was that I didn't hear any noises because they had like 600 types of whiskey in that hotel. So
the only voices he heard, the voices in his bunghole.
Well, in the other days I was driving. Well, we did New Belgium. We did a tour of the New Belgium brewery the first day.
Was that before the Stanley?
Yeah, because we drove to Fort Collins from Denver. We left the Curtis, went to Fort Collins and New Belgium. Ate at the Waffle Lab or whatever it's called, that food truck that makes Liege waffles, which are a
I don't remember
totally
this at all.
different
I do.
fucking thing. Well, and then I had a coconut curry Hefeweizen, and I was like, you guys quit fucking around. This is too fucking good. And I bought a bomber or 2 of it. So, and then we had the... Are
you still talking about the tour?
Yeah, the New Belgium. So, I know we're all mixed up in our order, but so we did Colorado Springs, Denver... And then between Denver and Estes Park, where the Stanley is, we went to Fort Collins. And they had this waffle lab outside. So after the brewery tour, where we got to drink all this beer and slide down on one of those curly Q slides.
Yeah, that was fucked up because they're giving you beer nonstop the whole time, just samples, but it's like huge samples. And then... yeah, at the end they're like, go down this slide, wacky waveable slide.
Well, that marked a change in my life, the New Belgium brewery tour, because that was the first time I had La Folie.
And the other thing that was crazy was the tour guide graduated from my high school in Ohio. And he's like, it's my mission to make New Belgium available in where I'm from in Ohio. And then shortly after, it did become available in Ohio. So all my Ohioan friends are all about the Fat Tire and shit. And I'm like, damn, I saw that shit happen. It's history, but...
Well, I totally spaced that fact, but yeah, and that was a cool guy too. But so we tried they had that gear Pilsner, the Pilsner with the gears on the can, and they were talking about how canning was better back then and stuff, but
really?
Let's see.
It seemed like we're not going to get into it. I'm not even... Well, I think we're going to have a brewery episode. I think we mentioned that because there's so many breweries here. Like, Colorado is awesome. But yeah, I think tomorrow... Well, I'm here for one more night or one more day, and I leave tomorrow night. So we're hoping... I guess there's a heavy metal brewery or some shit that is good, so we'll check that out. There was some diners, drive-ins, and dive bullshit where there's biscuits and pizza. We gonna check that shit out. So yeah, we got more on our to-do list.
Real quick, I wanted to talk about the Waffle Lab because...
Are we still on that fucking Waffle Lab, dude?
Well, the thing about the Waffle Lab outside of the New Belgium brewery was you got a waffle with a brat and onions and sauerkraut in it. And the special thing about those waffles is, like, you always hear about Belgian waffles, like, oh my god, you want a Belgian waffle, dude, Belgian waffle. Well, no, fuck that, Liege waffle, dude. I don't know who the fuck ever fucking had any kind of other waffle on their mind.
Dude. He's on one tonight.
Yeah, but this is some cool ass shit. Like, they put, like, I don't know where Liege is or Liege, whatever it's called, but they put sugar cubes.
Is it like cleavage?
Cleavage waffle.
Man, if you could eat a waffle that looked like a woman's cleavage.
How to fuck up your podcast volume 7.
Oh, whatever. I ain't fucking it up.
No, I'm just saying. So anyway,
no, that's what I call fucking up your podcast.
Now that's what I call fucking up your podcast, volume 18,492. So,
do you remember Totally Hits? That was also another thing.
No, I don't.
Okay, sorry. Continue on.
Oh, that's okay. So they have the waffles, but they put sugar cubes inside the batter before they put it in the machine. So it's got fucking like caramelized fucking French sugar clumps in the waffle. And then you get a bratwurst and
Why
some
did you
onion,
just do 10,000 accents?
and now you're eating this waffle with bratwurst and sautéed onions and sauerkraut.
I don't want it. Go on, get.
After
Actually,
you're
I think
drunk, and then you drive. We drove, we were in a 350Z, which was really fun at the time. Like, you know,
that was before we had babies. Just kidding. You don't have babies. Shut up.
yeah, that was before we had the spiritual baby.
I got a spiritual baby.
I got a spiritual baby, too. That wasn't okay. And then we left New Belgium Brewery and went to Estes Park, which was a very, very amazing drive. Because you're going up, winding
that
through
was
the mountains.
Didn't we got lost or stuck?
Fucking ass. That was the way back.
But we were discussing this earlier because we were walking around downtown Denver, and I was like, wait a minute, last time we were doing this, we didn't have smartphones. Like, when we did this little road trip honeymoon, neither of us had cell phones, smartphones. So it's pretty crazy because if you drive to the Stanley, it's a pretty crazy drive. I mean, you're getting out in the middle of nowhere. It's a lot of twisty turvies, you know, I don't know. And I think it was approaching the dark. Oh, but yeah, you got to tell them about how the entire town was shut down. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a flood right before we went, unbeknownst to us. And I mean, it's still affecting the town, that flood. It was massive. So we got there, a lot of the shops...
It's a ghost town.
Yeah, a lot of the shops were shut down. Nobody was in the hotel, which was really crazy because when Stephen King was inspired to write The Shining, he was in that hotel alone. I mean, he had a better room than us, but... so we were staying in this hotel. And I tried to order some breakfast burritos or something like that in the morning, and they were like, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have breakfast because there's not enough people staying here. We don't get the shipment from the city or whatever, because the snow, the mountain pass has been covered in snow or whatever. So it was pretty fucking nuts. And to be up there in like a sports car was even crazier because I'm pretty sure we almost slid off a cliff while we were driving back. But yeah, we got lost. I mean, we didn't get lost. A tree fell over the road or whatever, and a semi hit it and rolled. And so the road was closed. So we actually tried driving down that road, and then we got to a point where it was like, okay, we can't go any further. And then we went all the way back. I think it was like a half hour out of our way, so it added an extra hour.
Yeah, it was kind of... I don't know if we planned we planned it because we knew what we wanted to do, but I don't think we planned it where we knew the weather and...
Yeah, we just kind of lucked out. Yeah. But there was a really good like Nepalese restaurant in Estes Park. I would go up there again.
I like
was
the
really
little...
Cool.
I think there were like really weird, quaint shops. I love that. I love going to towns and just going to all the weird ass shops and trying on the weird hats that they have and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'm a big hat fan. Not weird hats, but normal hats. But so then the rest of the honeymoon, we came down from Estes. We skipped. I don't remember if we stayed in the Curtis. We did stay in the Curtis again because we stayed on the 13th floor, which is the horror movie floor, and our room added up to
1308.
The number 13 or something like that the first time. So we were on the 14th floor. Or the 15th floor the first time, and then the next time we were on the 13th floor.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in Colorado Springs another night, which was cool because we walked around a lot more that second time. And we saw that accident. Remember, we were like at this intersection, and for some dumb fucking reason, Colorado Springs thought it was really smart to put a giant fucking statue of this guy with a horse in the middle of an intersection. And so you could turn left, but you had to turn around the statue.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. It really seems like yesterday when all this happened. That was not 6 years ago almost, 5 years ago. But yeah, so what now? So
there's a statue of a guy and a horse, and it's huge. And it was like, here's where you turn left, Google Maps. And I was like, I'm not turning left here. This is insane. So we went right and flipped a bitch and then turned back. And by the time we got back to that intersection, we saw somebody get T-boned.
So did we go to, most importantly, did we go to Fazoli's in Colorado Springs, or where did we go to Fazoli's at?
That would have been Boulder.
No, I think it was Colorado Springs, dude. So back in the Midwest, there's this place called Fazoli's, and it's like an Italian fast food restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know where that was.
I think it was on the way back or something, but
yeah, I can't remember. But so that was the honeymoon.
Yeah, but it's really interesting. So we were driving we were staying at a town outside of Denver, and then we're getting the Uber to the Curtis, and our Uber driver, he's like, oh, have you guys been here before? We're like, yeah, we're here in 2013. He's like, wow, well, there's so much stuff, or so much more is here since then. I mean, this town's exploded, which I can see. I mean, it seems more populated, but as far as, I don't know, it doesn't seem that much more exciting,
this area
I guess.
seems the same. 16th Street seems the same. That mall on 16th Street, like the Pavilion or whatever, seems the same. It's the same stores pretty much. It smells worse this time. So what's really weird, what I found kind of bizarre, is where I was staying a couple days ago, there were like a billion geese flying over, and they just all pooped on my hotel. So it smelled like goose poop.
What does goose poop smell like? Because you're a fan of goose fat, so can you compare it at all?
Goose fat smells like heaven. Goose poop smells like hell. That's how I would compare them. But so it's been a really weird trip. So I don't know if like the tone is wrong or whatever, but I like Colorado. I love Durango. During our honeymoon, we had a really good time. I know that Colorado just did away with the electoral college, and they've got pot that's legal, which I don't really necessarily care about, but that's cool. But it's like, we told the Uber driver, the guy was like, well, what do you do in Albuquerque? And I was like, well, there's like 45 breweries. And he's like, damn, I didn't know you guys had that many breweries for how many people you have. I thought we had a lot of breweries. So I will say that I think the breweries outside of Denver, and I'm not sure if that's 100% true all the time, are better. Like Breckenridge is phenomenal. I really like Breckenridge. I really like Longmont's Left Hand. I like Ska well enough, and I like New Belgium. But like Oscar Blues that makes Dale's Pale Ale, like that's not really that great of a brewery.
I just had their IPA tonight at the One Up Arcade Bar, and man, it tasted like what's that beer that tastes like sweat? It's called Steel.
Schlitz? Steel Reserve?
Yeah, Steel Reserve. It literally just tastes like Steel Reserve.
That's pretty crazy.
It was disgusting. You know that Steel Reserve is like what, 10% or some bullshit?
Yeah, it's pretty high gravity.
But this was not. The guy was like, 'cause I was trying to get another IPA. It was called Blue Dream or some bullshit, and he's like, "This is the only IPA we have," and it was that one that I'm talking about, the
Oscar Blues.
Yeah, and it was taste. He's like, well, it's just the only difference is it's lower alcohol.
Well, that's always crappy though. But yeah, and like before that, let's see. So I had a cream ale that was called Madagascar Dream.
Quite a bit of beers today, actually.
Yeah, I had a plethora of samples of pints today. Well, and here's the other weird thing about Colorado. Why the fuck are bars selling like either 12 or 14 ounce beers or 20 ounce beers? Like, where the fuck did the pint go? Like, that's so fucking weird to me. Like, why can't you get a 16 ounce beer here? I mean, some places you can, right? But it's like we went to several places today where it was like 12.
And why are y'all
14.
food plates so fucking small? It's like fucking rabbits eat here, dude.
Yeah, that was weird. I like walking around this city. We walked around the like Capitol area, museum area place, and that was really neat. They've got a cool art exhibit outside with like chicken heads and stuff.
We're going to do behind the scenes on our YouTube channel too of all this stuff.
So after this episode, maybe before this episode, we'll have the behind the scenes of us hanging out around Denver.
We should do it before.
The one up that we went to in Lodo was like a little room where the bartender was on cocaine.
He was killing it though.
Yeah,
I must
really
say the
fast.
service here is really good,
That's
really
true,
good.
yeah. It's been really good service. I would say this city has by far the best Uber drivers out of any city that we've ever been
amazing,
to. The Uber drivers have been really talkative, really helpful, really cool, great suggestions, and
not smelly cars like farts. I think we talked about that, but it's, I mean,
looking at you, Philly. But I think that it's cool to be in a wintry, snowy wonderland type deal while we're here too.
Yeah, and it was just nice. I mean,
and the scenery is really nice.
it was just cool to come back here after 5 years and be like, you know, it's close to Valentine's Day, and it was cool to hang out in the hotel that we spent our first night on our honeymoon. You know, it's cool.
It's just really strange.
It's really cool though, like, because we talked to our Uber drivers and the hotel staff, and they're like, oh yeah, Albuquerque 505. I'm like, what the hell? I mean,
well,
it's
we
just,
are neighbors. I mean, this is the 303.
It's oh yeah, that's right.
But I would say that, like, I'm a really big fan of the west side of the state. Like, Ouray, even Grand Junction was, like, interesting, I think.
Oh, sorry, no offense.
Well, it's a hell of a drive from where we're at. There's
It's kind of weird. It's kind of like the Utah city of Colorado or something.
But at least they had Bobby Bruce Schlegel, the keyboardist, in that bar that, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of keyboardists in a lot of bars in Denver.
Hey, there was a dude playing a tuba or trombone to just the two of us, the background music.
And
of
there
that.
was a saxophonist in the street,
And
too.
then there were 3 people fighting today saying, fuck you, fuck you.
No, Portland was the fuck you argument. These guys were saying, hey, come over here. Come over here and say that. So there's one dude, and these 2 dudes on one side of the street, and they're just standing next to each other, probably about 20 feet apart, going, hey, you come over here and say that. Yeah, you come over here and say that. And then some dude who's like 2 fucking blocks away was like, no, you come over here. And then they start yelling at that guy. It was fucking ridiculous. I don't know. There's just some weird shit going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm enjoying my time. It's always good to get out of the good old land of entrapment every once in a while. But we've had a lot of adventures, and we did record some of the stuff that we did, so it should be interesting. But we learned about a German game today. What's it called?
Oh, bocce ball?
I didn't know about that shit.
Yeah,
so
it's like been popular for a while.
Pool or bowling? Who knows?
It's polling.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's something that was cool. Like, they have the bars with the games in them that are real big. Because we're just starting to
and
get
then
that
they
in
have like a
Albuquerque.
train station with a whole bunch of junk in there. I mean, they got an ice cream shop, a coffee shop, 3 bars, restaurants. They got a sitting area. They got a pooping area.
The Curtis is really cool because we got here and they were like, your room's not ready. So we went and walked around 16th Street. We stopped at Stout Street Social, which was, they had some really good
cool
oysters.
Place.
For being in the Southwest, like with no ocean nearby, they had some New York oysters and some Chico Bay, Washington oysters that I thought were really good. Really fresh, and that's not something that's easy to get in Albuquerque, so that was really cool. And then we came back to the Curtis, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry, it's like 2 or 3 hours later, your room's not ready, here's a free drink.
Yeah, and I was about to blow a hissy fit though, for real. I was
Man.
I was gonna be pissed because we were walking around for 3 hours just to, you know, we went to Target. I love traveling to the different Targets in different cities. Let me tell you, this one was shitty AF though. The one in downtown
It was
Denver.
more like a CVS than a Target.
Yeah, I was telling him, because you know how there's those normal Walmarts and the Walmart neighborhood markets? That was
Yeah.
definitely the Target neighborhood
I
market.
almost ended up at a neighborhood country market.
There's
Walmart
this
or
grumpy
whatever.
guy just screaming. He's got like 5 kids, like they're all under the age of 5, and he's like literally hates his life, and he's screaming at them so loud, and you just feel just so terrible. And I'm
I kind of looked at that guy. I mean, he
You
was really
saw him
stressed out,
too?
and I feel bad for
I
him.
know,
But I kind of looked at him like, don't hit that kid.
I know, I really felt like that too. I had my phone handy just to call CPS or some shit.
It was just
it's
that
like,
guy,
damn, I'm like, am I still at work right now? Let me chill. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I was like, let me get my toothbrush rung up really quickly. Let me get my hair ties rung up because this is not good.
Yeah. No, so one thing I wanted to say was we got back.
I didn't know you saw that guy too.
Oh, yeah. So we got back to the Curtis, we got our free drink, and of course they had a bottle of Breckenridge whiskey. And one thing I would like to say about Colorado is you guys got some damn fine bourbons and whiskeys, because Stranahan's is one of the best whiskeys in the country, easy, and so is Breckenridge bourbon. Like, I mean, Seattle is just breaking into that from their beer. Like, they've got beer down, and they've got distilleries and they're trying to do liquor, but they're kind of not doing that great. But fucking Colorado has some really good whiskeys. So kudos to you guys for doing that. And that, yeah, so we had a whiskey right before we came up to the room.
I want to go to where they make fruit stripe gum. They got factories. I mean, we're always going to just going to breweries or distilleries. Man, I want to go where they make bubble gum. Come on.
I'm not sure where Fruit Stripe is from. Is that from California?
We should watch how it's made for that shit.
Not how it's made, but that old show with that Mike guy or Mark.
Reading Rainbow?
No, there is the Treats. What's it called? The Treats show with the guy from
Happy Trees?
Remember he was in Workaholics and he had the puka shell or no. It was the episode where the guy was wearing the puka shell necklace and they went to the game in the Escalade, and his name's like Mark Urban or Mark Candy or Mark whatever the fuck, but he used to have that Unwrapped show on the Food Network.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Summers. And he used to do those, like, here's how it's made candy, blah, blah, blah. And it literally was how it's made, but for candy. And so, yeah, I don't know where Fruit Stripe is made, but I'm assuming it's California. Just for some reason, it seems like it would be.
Anyway, sorry for breaking your train of thought.
Derailed that motherfucker.
I did. I was just thinking about
our walls kind of look like Fruit Stripe if they had a gray
and there's
flavor.
Albert Einstein on a shark, apparently.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't see that.
Man, what was that movie we watched with my mom, the crazy shark one?
Piranha 3D.
Wow, that was amazing. This is what it reminds me of.
The wall. This is a massive black and white mural on the wall of people at the beach and a tiki bar, and the clock there is 5 o'clock too.
Yeah, there's a guy. He's got his butt crack and butthole sticking out. His old butt cheeks are sticking out, and he's got a pirate hat on. He's holding a clock.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, this is a really interesting place.
Yeah, it's kind of seems like I could probably kick down that wall. It seems like very fake and cheap.
Oh, I don't know. It looks all right. We'll have to give it a push later. Give it a shove.
Yeah.
See if we plop through.
If I would have drank a little bit more, I'd be pounding that thing.
Yeah. So, let's see. What else did we do while we were here? So we just went to this trip. We didn't necessarily relive our honeymoon.
Yeah, we're
Denver.
trying to find we went to this really good Polish restaurant. And we couldn't find it again, which is sad. I think it may have closed, but it was really good.
So we kind of walked in circles around 16th Street.
I'm cold, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So we kind of walked in circles around 16th Street. We went down to like the cool Capitol buildings and stuff. Walked back. We went to Stout Street Social. We went up to, or we stopped at the corner office and had a grilled cheese tomato soup. And then...
I think isn't it just called The Office? Or no?
No, it's the corner office.
Oh, okay.
And then we went up to Rhine House, which is really interesting because it's like two bars in almost the same room. You walk into this building and there's a German restaurant with /bar/ bocce ball, and then you like turn a weird corner through some old Western style double door swinging doors, and you're in Wally's Wisconsin bar. And they don't have the same menu, and they only have 3 beers on tap.
Yeah, I had a PBR there.
Yeah, and what did I have there? That was...
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember now. Oh, a Bell's. Bell's is a good brewery. So you go through this, you got pretzels and schnitzel and Schwarzer and whatever, and then you walk through the doors and you got cheese curds and French fries. And it was really weird. But you can wait for your table at the one bar, so we did that. We watched a UFC fight real quick and then walked back into the other bar. and we got our. What did you have? I had Jaeger schnitzel, which I guess is beef.
I just had a bratwurst. It was spicy, but it was literally tiny. It was literally like nothing. It was so tiny. And then they had a tiny portion of mashed potatoes. And then, I don't know. And I was starving. And, it was just, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the growing pains and stuff. It was a cool place, kind of. But it had I would say it was really good food. But... like, when I pay $16 for a Jaeger schnitzel, which is basically a chicken fried steak, like, all I got was my German chicken fried steak and, like, a handful of purple cabbage on top. And I was like, this is good, but I would not pay $16 for this just because I'm in the middle of a growing city. So it's stuff like that that's kind of strange. But then from there we went to we went to the Milk Box, which was cool. And
so we walked, and it was freezing, just freezing. But we walked like a half a mile or something to the train station where, like I was saying, they had all this stuff there. So we go to them. I wish I would have got that T-shirt though. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, their ice cream was ice cream.
It wasn't nothing. It wasn't anything. My ice cream was gross. It was like, ugh. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, and now I'm wondering, like, this isn't specifically about Denver or Colorado, but in all of our travels, like, I'm wondering if there's, like, really good places where, like, craft fancy food exists and then people like it because it's craft fancy food or whatever. And then there's other places that exist just because they're, like, local staples, but I think
a lot of it is the atmosphere. And I have to say, Denver has really nice places. I mean, they're nice. I mean, the place that we went to earlier where you had the oysters, I could sit there all day long. It was cool. And then same with the train. I mean, everywhere that we went had really good ambiance. I mean,
that's a really good point. Like, I like being in this city.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. And I love to people watch and stuff. And yeah, and then even walking around, everything's aesthetically pleasing,
Well, it is one of those cities where people are like overly nice compared to some cities.
Yeah, some reason people keep bumping into me, but I'm also PMSing, so it could be like me just...
There have been a few bad apples. We've been walking around a lot for sure, but that happens with any city.
Well, there's
but I think
some fucking idiots in onesies tonight. Oh, sorry, I don't want to offend people, but there's some people in onesies, and they're wreaking havoc all throughout the city. Hide your kids, yo.
Yeah, hide your kids, hide your wife. The onesies are out. They're creeping around tonight.
Yeah, and because when you gotta take a poop or pee with them onesies, you gotta tear them all down. What's the point?
Oh, God.
Unless these fools got like a zippable onesie thing where they can pull out their ding-dang with that.
Ding-a-ling-dang-a-dang-a-long-ling-long. What kind of onesie would you wear if you went to a onesie party in the middle of Denver?
I would wear something flattering, like really, I'd get like an extra small, so like hugged my curves and whatnot, like it'd be...
Yeah.
I'd cut a weird ass hole like so I could show some cleavage and stuff. I don't fucking know. Would you show cleavage on your butt cheeks to show your butt cleavage?
I'd get a baboon onesie just so I could have my butt hang out. I'd also spray paint my butt pink.
Sick, dude. We should do that.
Because that's how baboons are. They got those big old pink butts that are all sticking out.
Aw, baboons are cute.
Or maybe that's not baboons, but I think
it is. Yeah, those are totally baboons.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Do you remember my email? I used to have an email address that was like I like baboons at AOL.com
or something.
I
forgot about that. You're going to get email now on that address.
It wasn't exactly that, but it was kind of.
I love baboons.
Yeah.
Well,
what the hell was that my I don't even.
You know what's weird though is like Colorado must be really into onesies because the last time we were in Durango a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there was another onesie. Well, it's cold here.
We were driving out into the middle of. So we just coincidentally we have a friend in Durango, and we were driving out there and it was snowing too. That's kind of like what Colorado does around this time of year. So
wouldn't you know?
We went to the Strader Hotel to have a cocktail and it was really fun. And I bought the hat that I was wearing today, which is a really nice wool cap. And then we went out into the middle of the hills, like 20 minutes or whatever, into the middle of nowhere. And there's this house and there's all these cars and we're walking up to this birthday party of one of our friends. And everybody was in a onesie. and it was like astronauts and sharks and like weird things.
You know those people weren't wearing undies underneath those.
I don't know if I would either under a onesie. I mean, it's like if it's already such a hassle to take off anyway, and at a house party especially.
It's just like the comfort of it, and it's because it's cold. I mean, to me, I would like to wear. It's like kind of wearing a romper, but here's the thing: when I put on a romper, it looks like I got a huge ass cooter. You know, I'm not doing that shit. And I have a feeling that onesies would kind of be that way as well, unless I got that really like tight. It kind of looks like a jumpsuit. I would totally do that.
A tunsie, tinesy. I don't know.
Yeah, with some platform heels.
With goldfish in them too. I've always admired those
Baby
shoes.
shark doo-doo.
What the fuck is that? What is that
No,
thing?
I don't want to. Are you serious? Why is everybody obsessed with that? Okay,
That's what I mean. Fast forward into the future. So we wrapped up our second day in Denver after a cool trip around South Broadway, where we went to the Denver Biscuit Company. Thank you, Guy Fieri, for taking us to Flavortown that day.
Atomic Cowboy,
which was really cool. Biscuits in the one thing, and then the pizza in the other thing, and then the bar with the beer and the stuff and the things. And it was cool because we got some coffee, went down there, went to the Biscuit Company after walking around for like 5 minutes, and they were like, it's going to be an hour and a half. But one of the cool things about Denver is, when probably all big cities other than Albuquerque, is that they text you. They just grab your phone number and then text you when your table's ready, so you don't have to sit around and do nothing all day at this place. So we went to explore South Broadway and found two little bookstores that were really cool.
The one was really disgusting.
It was kind of
If you follow me on I Enjoy Sneezing on Instagram, you probably saw my story where I showed you guys the hoarding paradise. I mean, this lady had Wonder Bread and like some cans of beans or some shit, some nasty pillows and mattresses.
Yeah, and it was kind of just like piles of books and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't organized at all.
Nothing was on a shelf, and there were like cool buttons, and it was like these buttons from the 1980s where nothing important was on them or whatever. But anyway, then we went to a different bookstore, and we ended up getting books there.
Yeah, which I'm still reading right now.
Yeah, which was called Fahrenheit Books. The one that we went to that we liked was Fahrenheit Books.
The other one was hoarding.
Hoarders
what's
books.
an H? What's the name of
Hoard of the Rings.
What's a female name that starts with an H? Harriet. Hoarding Harriet's.
Hoarding Harriet's bookstore. So we found some cool books. I got the one about the Dutchman's treasure and the superstitions. That was like, it was cool because, so I'm working on a novel right now about that takes place in the superstitions where the Dutchman's treasure supposedly is. But this book, I opened it and there was like a letter from an uncle to a nephew, and it was like, hey, this book has unpublished stuff from the county or whatever, the district attorney, I don't know, it was something weird, attorney general, I don't know who it was. He was posting, or he said like, hey nephew, you'll like this because it's got stuff that's never before been seen or published about the Dutchman. So I found that, and I've still got to read it, but it'll be good research for the novel I'm working on. And then you got one about what?
Yeah, I got one. So it was some piece of history I never heard about. So it was about this like orphanage agency in New York that it was a Catholic organization, and it was run by nuns, and they would give these children over to Catholic families. So there were these little Irish babies, so they gave them over to this Mexican family in Arizona. And so it just deals a lot with kind of just the shit. Now you're having me actually like talk about real things.
No, that's okay. So, but
so it's I want to talk about it because it's really interesting. I never knew about it, but there's a lot of interesting like racial things going on. So in New York, Irish people weren't even seen as white, and so it talks about the transition of these little Irish babies from seeing not white in New York to, you know, basically white in Arizona or Anglo, and how it shook up this whole town, and these Anglo people were freaking out. And they actually ended up abducting the children, even though the family was a perfectly good family, like such an amazing family, and they just took them from them. And
yeah, and that's what's cool about those little bookstores is you get shit like that where it's like not really something that you would find elsewhere. I mean, Amazon's got a fuck ton of books, but you got to kind of be cruising with purpose there. And when you're in a bookstore and you just look around at organized shelves.
I was really happy about that bookstore because we just came from Hoarding Harriet's when Hoarding Harriet met Sally, and it was nice to actually be able to walk around. And it's just, I like quaint shit like that. The coffee shop was cool too. I mean,
oh yeah, because we did after
they had
we
some
bought our
vegan
books.
Hot Pockets, and ever since then Hot Pockets have been like advertised on all my social media.
Well, they're like, it's weird because coffee shops here do Pop-Tarts, like homemade Pop-Tarts. I've never seen like homemade Hot Pockets, and it's weird that they would call them that. But
I don't think they did. I'm just being stupid.
Well, they did call them Hot Pockets, yeah. But which is funny because. So they had a good Viennese, which I hadn't had, which is just a latte, I guess, with whipped cream on top or something.
Every time you say that, it makes me think of veganese, which is like the vegan mayo.
That's funny. It always makes me think of Vienna sausages.
Ew, all equally disgusting.
Yeah, so Vienna, up your game. But then we went to the distillery and we did all the different tastings.
The Haunted Distillery.
The Denver Distillation Company or whatever it's called, DCD or whatever, DDC, I don't know. Anyway, we did a flight of 16 liquors, and this is all while we're waiting for our table, which was really cool.
And I was hungry, and so that was kind of interesting to be like taking 16 shots, waiting to eat biscuits, you know?
Yeah, and they had a good sweet potato vodka. I thought that was really good. Like I said earlier in the episode, Denver has really good. Colorado as a whole has really good liquor.
Oh yeah, that vodka was. Well, which vodka did I like? I can't remember now.
Well,
there was the sweet potato vodka I really, really liked.
They had 2 moonshines. One was apple. One was strawberry and lemon.
Their rum was really good.
Their dark rum was one of the best dark rums I've ever had, and they had a spice rum that was Navy strength.
Their gin was fucking good too.
See, I didn't like the gin. It was a really good quality gin, but it was too anisey. It was really weird how it had a lot of anise.
I don't normally like gin, and I found that flavor more accessible to somebody who doesn't like gin.
That's cool. That's interesting to know. I bet we could find a gin that tastes similar somewhere else, but we'll have to look around.
I don't really want to start drinking gin though. I don't know.
I love gin. But then we got a text saying our table was ready, and we went to this Denver biscuit company, and I was skeptic because I love biscuits, I love gravy, I love biscuits and gravy. I didn't order
biscuits. What's not to like then?
So like but that's all they have there, and so I kind of ordered bad the first time. I got the 3-dog run or something like that, which was just like a meat, a biscuit, and 2 eggs.
His plate was so underwhelming that when they brought it out, I told him to take it back because I didn't really think he got it.
Yeah, I ordered bad. And then the lady walked up and she just handed it to the bartender because we were sitting at the bar, and he just brought it right back to us. But it was good. They had local honey butter that was really good, and their strawberry jam is fucking phenomenal. And I was converted. I took the first bite of that biscuit, which, it made me really sad too at the same time. I was elated and had all this joy, but it made me miss the restaurant Gravy here in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah, dang.
They had really good biscuits, and in my opinion, their meats and bacons and stuff like that were better quality in Albuquerque, but I think the biscuits at Denver Biscuit Company were better. I don't remember, though, because it's been so long.
And I don't even like biscuits. Like I'm not a biscuit girl. Actually, that's not true. I always get that stupid biscuit sandwich at McDonald's. Now that should be good.
Yeah. And then after that, we went and kind of chilled in Aurora for a little bit more.
I didn't get to talk about my food. That's annoying.
Oh, no. Okay.
I got a fried chicken sandwich or something. Man, I don't know what the hell was on. It was like bacon and fried chicken and gravy.
Franklin.
Yeah, that was really good. The chicken was kind of, it was aight, but I mean, everything else was really good. And then we got the best cinnamon roll ever. If you saw my, the cinnamon roll looks really inappropriate. I keep looking at it. It literally looks like jizz in a woman's vagina, though. Like, it's really inappropriate.
If instead of a vagina were a hole, it'd be like a spiral inward or whatever. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, if you look at my cinnamon roll picture, you're going to get horny.
Them motherfuckers is great. And it was huge. huge.
Yeah, it's the best cinnamon roll I ever had.
Well, and that's kind of the thing is, like, everybody in Albuquerque loves the Frontier, and I'm fine talking shit about the Frontier. They suck. They're not, Golden Pride got some whatever.
That.
But they are all about their cinnamon rolls. They got big cinnamon rolls.
Their cinnamon rolls are good, though. I don't got nothing against it. They're more
mediocre.
like butter rolls.
Yeah, that's true, too. They just melt a bunch of butter and, like...
It kind of reminds me of the rolls you get at Hometown Buffet. Shout out to Hometown Buffet if you guys ever been there. Or Country Time. What was it? Country?
No, Country Crock Buffet. No. Old Country Buffet.
Country Crock.
Just a bunch of butter, melted all butter with a bunch of butter on top of it.
Yeah, that's what Frontier cinnamon rolls remind me of. But anyway, yeah, I never expected a cinnamon roll to be that good in the biscuit. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's weird because their cinnamon rolls are made from the biscuit dough. So you're like, this biscuit was good, but is it cinnamon roll material?
Or is it sweet enough? But you know what these motherfuckers did was they made their icing taste like vanilla, and that's what made it sweet enough.
Yeah.
It was just, oh my gosh.
It was phenomenal. I mean, I didn't buy a hat. I usually buy hats on vacation, but I didn't get one because I had already bought an Avalanche hat. But Katie got a t-shirt.
Yeah,
really cool.
We should make the Instagram post a picture of my tatas in this, because this is a very nice shirt. Basically, it's just a floating bus that says Denver Butthole Company.
What was the one with the wheat that was a good pun? All you can wheat. That was a good shirt.
Where the hell was that at?
It was hanging on the wall.
Oh. I passed out after eating all those biscuits for 3 hours, but on the Uber drive back to our hotel, the guy was like, "Big hotel, go sleepy, sleepy."
Oh, that was hilarious. And yeah, we had a long drive after that, though, because we had to go from South Broadway back to the Curtis.
Oh, yeah, that's
and then
right.
Down to Aurora. The night kind of puttered out because the biscuits just put us to sleep. So we sat in Aurora, and I think I probably watched the Weather Channel for a couple hours while you slept. And then you left, and I sat around doing nothing the rest of the night. Later in the week, I went to DBC Aurora and had I think it was the Elmer, which is the barbecue sandwich.
So it's not Atomic Cowboy in Aurora? That's only in that one area?
Yeah, so I think Atomic Cowboy is the trio of the three. Fat Sully's Pizza, or whatever it is, Denver Biscuit Company, and then whatever the bar is. Mm. I was bummed because there was that Czech bar next to Atomic Cowboy, and there's just not enough time and not enough room in my stomach to enjoy all these wonderful things. I would go back to Denver for a weekend just to check out the Czech bar.
I better hear that like that. So I don't think do people really value our opinions? I don't know. Do you?
Post it on our Wallcast pod wall YouTube video.
When I listen to what people like to eat or drink, I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt.
Literally take my opinion on food with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
As you're eating the food that I recommend.
You know what we didn't eat in Denver were tacos.
Yeah. Why would we eat tacos in Denver?
I don't know.
It's
Why
funny.
Did you say it
So and later in the week when I went to the Denver Biscuit Company in Aurora, it was at this warehouse place that was an old airport that's really cool. Because I hadn't explored and we didn't explore Aurora as much as we could have.
I don't know. I think there's just like a sad aura about Aurora.
Aurora's aura
that should be a good areola in my roll.
Flora, fauna.
This coffee just made me a little too hyper. But yeah, I think it's just kind of a sad... I guess because with my job and everything and learning about mass violence and the shooting that happened in the theater, maybe it's just what I'm attributing it to. Maybe there's not a sad aura in Aurora. It's just me, thinking that. But that's just the vibe that I got. So I didn't really want to spend that much time there.
Yeah, I don't know. It really, well, there is a lot. It's a nice town. I spent the majority of the 2 weeks there, and in addition to the Denver Biscuit Company and all the chain restaurants that they have that I ended up eating at because that's all I had next to my hotel. I went to a brat place called Bender's Brat Company or something like that. and that was really good. It was an old mom and pop shop. Other than that, I didn't do much exploring though. I mean, I was working 12-hour days up
And
there.
it cold
didn't get
AF
time.
too. But fun fact, Aurora got voted most athletic or something sports-oriented town in like 2005.
That's cool. I didn't realize that.
2005.
You know what's funny
I read
is,
their Wikipedia on the
speaking
plane.
of being voted things, so and I was talking about that Bender Brat Company. I was sitting there eating my double brat sandwich with some homemade coleslaw, and I looked up at the wall, and it was like voted best brat restaurant in 2017. And I was like, we have the best of Albuquerque here, and they do all over the place and stuff. But I was like, man, that's a really specific like category to win a prize in. Like, how many brat restaurants are there?
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton.
We used to have one here.
Oh, only one. Yeah, and
Places serve brats, but they're not like a brat restaurant.
well, I'm really jealous if you had a good brat, because remember those weird brats I got at that one place that you got real angry at?
Oh, the Rheinhaus. Yeah, that guy responded, the owner of that company responded to my Yelp review.
What did he say?
I didn't read it
You
yet.
should read it.
You want me to read it?
Yeah,
Let me
you
pull it
should
up.
read your review and read what he said, because we've been wanting to do that on this podcast.
Okay, let me see if I can find my Yelp review real quick. And it's not that good.
It's not?
No. So what I want to do real quick before...
on.
That's okay. So what I want to do real quick before we call it on this episode is, because we finally spent a satisfactory amount of time in other Colorado cities, because we've been all over Colorado, like we talked about earlier in the episode, I want to do a quick top 10, rank it 1 through 10 of the cities in Colorado that we've been to.
Let's go for it.
What do you think is number 10?
10? Okay, so that's, I guess, Denver.
You think Denver was number 10? I would say that Grand Junction is number 10.
Oh, shit. Fuck that place. Sorry. Oh, I already
Yeah, we already talked
them.
about this.
Oh, man.
Bobby Bushlegel.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. What? We have to list out of all the ones we went to, because I don't know. There has to be another creepy little town that I didn't like in Colorado.
I think Grand Junction takes the cake. There's one that starts with an M south of that, but we didn't stop there. So we've been to Durango, Ouray, Grand Junction, Denver, Aurora, Estes Park, Fort Collins, Boulder. We've passed through Pueblo, not stopped there. That's kind of it. So we have a top 9.
My favorite is, I liked Boulder, but we didn't spend enough time there. But Ouray, I just love that little town. It's so beautiful. That's my number 1. I want to go back there.
Yeah. And I think, I keep saying Ouray too, but I think it's pronounced Ouray. I think they need to put a Y in front of that stupid...
If you're one of the 500 people that live there, please school me.
Correct us, yeah. It really is a small city, but it's also... It's super fucking cool looking. Oh, Silverton, that's another one.
Oh, that place was cool too.
Yeah, that's a really nice place. So, yeah, I would say that my favorite is Ouray/Silverton, because they're all so close. And then number 2 is going to be Durango, just because it's a little bit bigger than Estes Park.
Yeah, I think Estes Park is 2 and then Durango's 3. I really like Durango though.
Yeah, I think those could be interchangeable. And then Fort Collins is pretty tiny, but my favorite hot sauce company is in Fort Collins, Burns and McCoy. They make Exoresco, which is on the new season, the last new season of Hot Ones. If and you watching some First We Feast on YouTube, folks. But they have, all of their sauces are really good. New Belgium's in Fort Collins, which how can you go wrong there? We talked about that. So that's a cool, they got cool companies, but I don't know if I would live in Fort Collins, because it's like, it seemed kind of small.
It seemed
but that
really
was like,
rural. I was surprised.
Yeah. It was years ago that we went though, so that was the 2013. I'm kind of bummed we didn't get to make it up there this trip. So we've got Ouray.
I'm glad we didn't mention chili in Colorado though.
Green chili?
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, they got green chili, and I just wanted to argue with them about, no, New Mexico owns the chilies.
They don't care. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Our top 10 list, we got Ouray, we got Durango and Estes Park, Fort Collins, Boulder, and then I think it goes Denver, Aurora.
Did we stay in Colorado
Denver.
Springs too?
We did stay, yeah.
Actually, that's going to be my number 10. I don't know.
You like Colorado Springs less than
that's where my favorite
Grand Junction?
That's where my favorite podcast comes from, though, is Focus on the Family.
Oh, don't they have a lot of... They're like a conservative megachurch town, right?
Yeah, they're evangelical, yeah.
Yeah. I guess a lot of Denver probably is. Or Colorado, I mean.
Well, I'm starting to have bad cramps, so I need to
the period episode.
Yeah, this is the period Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I know it's after Valentine's Day, but happy Valentine's Day.
Hey, what do you think is the percentage of women on their periods on Valentine's Day? So shout out to my 30%, 40%. What do you think?
Oh, boy.
In the entire world.
It's probably 90% of all women.
They're 90% are faking it because they don't want to have sex with their sugar daddies.
That's true. We'll never know. We'll never know. Or the random people that they meet for a date, which goes both ways, but sometimes, that's a
It sure
good
does
excuse.
go both ways, if you know what I mean.
Wah, wah. Yeah, anyway, happy Valentine's, everybody. Thanks for listening. Next week, we've got our friend Miles Lacayo on as a guest host. And then after that, it's the Mardi Gras episode.
Woo!
We're going to be shooting the shit in New Orleans, hopefully wasted on Bourbon Street while we're doing the episode, but we'll see how it goes.
We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, and then after Mardi Gras is straight to Las Vegas, Nevada for a wedding. So we got a lot coming at you, and we're looking forward to posting the behind-the-scenes videos of all that stuff on our YouTube. I am Langston Books on Instagram. Katie is I Enjoy Sneezing on Instagram. And you are listening to Accidentally Fasting.
See you later, guys.
Adios, muchachos.